Working with dream intentions enables you to get answers to life's deepest questions in your dreams, literally while you sleep. You can get insights from spirit, which will help you in your waking life. So what is a dream intention? It is an intention that we set before going to sleep, which asks for information in relation to a question. The first important thing to do is to ask an open question. Don't answer a closed question, which is one that can be answered with yes or no, because you won't get very much information. The best thing to do is to answer a very open question, one which is going to bring you a lot of information, which will be helpful. In fact, the more open the question you ask, often the better, because it's quite often the case that we don't know what to ask for. So if we can ask a very open-ended question, we'll get some information which might reveal something which we hadn't even been aware of, something that we wouldn't have thought to ask about. So some examples of how to start your dream intention are: please give me insight into this situation. Please tell me what I don't know about another situation. Or please give me a dream to help me understand, and then fill in your own situation that you want to understand in more detail. It's important not to be ambiguous in setting intentions, because it could be that you get an answer to a question which you didn't intend. So if you use a word or a phrase which could be interpreted in a different way, even if you understand it, it's almost like speaking to somebody who speaks in a foreign language. You need to word it in a way that can be easily understood. So make it very, very clear. Ask directly. Don't be over polite and feel like you're asking for too much or troubling the dream, but just be very, very direct in what you ask. I do think it's important to have some dream etiquette. So this is like a relationship which you're building up. So be polite in what you say. Honor the dream by paying attention to it, listening to it, expecting to receive a dream which is going to answer your dream intention. And view this as building a relationship. You're going to invest time and energy and effort into the dream and the dream analysis in order to get the most out of it, much as you would with a relationship. The more that you put in, the more that you can expect to get back. It's a good idea to write the dream down, because they're often difficult to remember. I've heard so many people say that they had a dream, but then if you don't write it down, it's gone within a few minutes, even a few hours, and definitely a few days. And if you write it down, it's not always helpful to try to interpret it straight away. Quite often, if you come back to that dream later in the day or after a few days, it will make a lot more sense. I think because when we wake up, we're kind of still in that dozy kind of state. It's not necessarily the best time to try and interpret it or try and get meaning out of it. Devotion is important, and I think the more that we're devoted to something, the more focused we are on it and the more we will get out of it. So if you can devote your time and energy and your very self to your dream practice, you will get a lot out of it. Whereas if you do it half-heartedly, don't expect the same kind of returns. Working with dreams takes practice. It takes practice to learn how to set an intention. It takes practice to learn how to interpret the dream, to notice patterns in your dream, and to understand what they're trying to tell you. You might find it helpful to work with somebody else. So if you have a friend who's also interested in setting dream intentions or working with dreams, maybe set aside a time once a week or once a month to discuss your dreams. And the advantage of this is that you can get an outside perspective on what your dream means. So whereas it can be quite difficult to see outside of ourselves and to see what meaning might be being brought into our consciousness, somebody else will often see things about us or understand us in a way that we don't understand ourselves, because we often hide or are just unaware of certain behaviors and patterns in our life, which might be obvious to a friend. So if you can listen to each other's dreams and offer suggestions as to what they might mean, that can be extremely helpful. Approach the dream in a very open-minded way. Expect to hear some hard truths, because dreams bring what is unconscious into our conscious awareness. So it might be something that you've been blocking because you don't really want to think about it, or you don't want to know, or it's just something, a behavior or something about you that you're denying might come into your awareness through a dream. So you have to be open to receiving feedback, I would say, and be prepared to learn some things about yourself which are maybe uncomfortable and difficult to acknowledge. But most of all, have some fun. Dreams can be absolutely fascinating. They can be funny, they can be silly, they can make us laugh, and they're ideal to share. So make sure you enjoy this as well. It doesn't have to be taken too seriously. It can be a lot of fun, a way of healing, which is actually something that you might look forward to and find quite fascinating. It can be quite addictive, actually, once you get into dream analysis and try to understand and find the meanings of dreams. You might find that you can't wait to have your next dream and to look at the meaning and understand something new about yourself. If this resonates with you, I'd be really interested to hear your thoughts, so please post in the comments box, and please remember to like and subscribe.